going back into the animals.
Yes.
Well, in my past lives,
Yes.
I have been an animal.
Yes. Thank you.
So that it is. Huh?
Yes, absolutely.
So lots
And
of
people have lifetimes, and I remember the first time I ever experienced that when I was working with somebody, probably 45 years ago, or longer, who was a moss. Can you experience, or can you imagine what it would be like to have a life as a moss, or a rat,
was a butterfly,
or as a butterfly?
and he was a cricket.
Yes. And there's a story there.
Yes.
And there's a story there, and it has meaning. And it represents how two energies can intermingle or relate to each other, because the cricket and the butterfly both have wings. You know? So there's always a point of relativity. Yeah. Einstein was correct about that. Relativity. And the Chinese say everything is connected to everything. And when we recognize that, it can take us away from judgment, or envy, or smallness, or fear. And absolutely. Now, a scientist would say to you, oh, well, that's because of evolution. Because you came from a blue-green algae, and so you have the cricket inside you, and you have the butterfly inside you. And in fact, there's only something like 0.02% difference between ourselves and frogs. Now that's a very small percentage. So what is the fuss? And years ago, I think in my first or second book, I spoke about, if that is true, if we've had incarnations, especially crickets, science says that if we were to have a nuclear disaster throughout this world, it is the crickets who will survive. Because they are able, in the presence of radiation, they are able to make an enzyme that protects them from it. And so, 25 years ago, whenever I wrote my first book, I was going like this in my little brain, saying, okay, let's make a copy of that enzyme. Inject ourselves, and that's the end of our problem with radiation. Well, of course, now I think that's very funny. You don't have to take it from the cricket, but you can align to that energy. You could actually teach your body to do it. I know this for a fact, and that's why there is no disease that cannot be healed. Because there's somebody who doesn't have that disease. And science says that the breath of the first human is still moving through the ethers of our planet. So anyone you want to project on that lived 2,000 years or 200 years, or had this quality or that quality, or never was sick with this, or could do something, just align with it, and there it is. Butterflies are a great symbol to us. And they also say that when a butterfly moves its wings, it can cause great storms in the planet. This is coming from science. It's not coming from science fiction. And so we have a lot to learn about the hologram and the relativity and the infinite levels of reality. And that's why when you see a butterfly, or your higher self comes as a butterfly, it means something. It means something, and it's a gift to you. That's why every time you ask your higher self to take form, hopefully, it will give you a different form. So that you can keep aligning with different aspects, different facets of your potential, so that you expand and evolve. This is the way evolvement goes. It expands out, it curls over, and it rises up. Expands out, curls over, rises up. One way we see it.